Hello, I'm Laurie McMenemy. Welcome to The Ugly Inside. Subscribe below.
Welcome along to our end of season reviews and move on to our goalkeepers first of all, and it start off with Fraser Forster. The wall has become the wardrobe this season. The boys from the Red Stripes are here and Dan from Fan Cams. Dan, you're grinning from ear to ear. The wall to the wardrobe.
I wouldn't say from the wall to the wardrobe. You know, he's still kept quite a few clean sheets. I mean, obviously, presence-wise, he's not been there as much this season. I think the injury played a big part in that. I still don't think he's fully recovered mentally or physically from that, to be honest. But he's kept plenty of clean sheets. You know, there has been a few clangers, but again, average season. As we've said about other people, it's quite an average season for him, I think.
And Fraser Forster was always knocking on that door for the England #1 goalkeeper last year, and this year he seems like he's been stagnant. He's not really improved. He's not really done anything.
Especially as you say about that, Joe Hart going to Italy, that's a massive opportunity for those keepers. And I mean, you think obviously he's come back from his injury, but that was his chance to, you know, I'm playing in the Premier League, I'm playing well, make me #1.
And on paper, like Dan said, 14 clean sheets in all in Premier League. I think it was like third or fourth best in the league, but it's paper over the cracks really, because a lot of those have come from 0-0 draws and 1-0 victories.
Yeah, to be fair, half the season he had Van Dijk in front of him, and Yoshida and Stevens have done a great job recently. And let's be honest, Forster's had some howlers this season, hasn't he? Especially in the last couple of games, just before the Liverpool game, where obviously he made that save, which was obviously that was great
From a mistake.
Yeah. It's not all doom and gloom with him, is it? Really.
He said then he went and rectified himself up in the league game though. Great save from a penalty. So
That's the first penalty he's saved though, hasn't it?
yeah.
And it's,
we said, see him forced to save a penalty. So
this is the thing though, I mean the critics and a lot of us say that he's too big to be a goalkeeper. He can't get down low enough and quick enough, because a lot of these shots that he's been beaten by this season are by hard and low shots.
Yeah, maybe fear of grass, isn't it? Fear of grass. I reckon maybe he's got what's that stuff? Hay fever. Maybe he's got that. He doesn't want to get close to the grass. Maybe it's that. I think. What do you reckon?
Well, if he's not able to get down, he can get the ones in the corners easier, so it evens out at the end of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It must do.
and you've got to remember again. As a keeper, if a goal's in, it's your fault. As a striker, if you miss it, lucky. So you're always going to blame your keeper more than you're going to blame other players. The players led up, we've had quite a few defensive mistakes and they've led to goals. At the end of the day, can you blame a keeper if a defender slipped, you're one-on-one with a player? Balancing act, isn't it,
It's not all bad really, because I think if we didn't want him, someone else would.
He's a top keeper, but let's go to a comment that's been sent from Dan then for Fraser Forster's review.
And one of those players is Fraser Forster, the goalkeeper who was so firmly in the England squad last season after coming back from an ACL injury that kept him out for almost a year. He was so good, made loads of saves, kept 6 consecutive clean sheets when he came back, but he has this season one of the worst shots to save ratio in the Premier League.
So Dan says there that he's one of the worst for shots to save ratio, and as we were saying, you know, maybe he doesn't get down quick enough.
Obviously, you spoke there as well about the clean sheets. That clean sheet was a confidence builder. Confidence. I don't feel there's much confidence in Forster because of partly what's in front of him. Obviously, we've lost Van Dijk, that's a big loss. I feel Yoshida and Stevens have done a great job, fantastic job, but neither of them lead. You need a leader in that centre-half position. So I think confidence-wise, that's what's killed him a bit.
And it's been a long way back for Forster this season, because that Crystal Palace game where it bubbled over his foot off his big toe, and then Benteke leaves him in for a tap-in, and it's been a long way back for him to actually gain a bit of confidence in the last few games of this season.
Yeah. Obviously the Liverpool game was a big one with the penalty save.
He'll come good next year. No question.
He's just not set the world alight for me ever since he's joined. You know, unlike Niemi, you know, and even Borach at points. He was a great keeper, lots of charisma, mental saves, and you don't see that from Forster really ever. You just see him, he's like the safe pair of hands there, isn't he? But he's always got a good back four in front of him. I find it's sort of like, he's not like the keeper which... I want to see Jorge Campos, do you remember him, Mexico? I want to see him in goal. Obviously, the new version, his son, something like that. What do you reckon?
I wouldn't mind seeing Yoshida in goal.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
On to our second comment then from Jake from the St Mary's Musings.
I think Fraser Forster's had a poor season by his standards. He's made plenty of errors. He's, like any goalkeeper, he's prone to the odd error here and there. And his last 2 seasons at Saints, he has been largely one of the positives of Southampton's strong defence. You can't really say that's the case this season. You could argue perhaps the defence isn't as good in front of him this season, especially the latter half of the season with Van Dijk out. But I do believe Forster's had his poorest season in a Saints shirt.
So Jake pretty much echoes what we've just really mentioned there, really. I mean, poor season, but effectively he's been relying on the two lads in front of him, usually in Font and Van Dijk, and it's not been helped by Yoshida and Stevens this year.
If you look at the teams that keep clean sheets, it's not just the goalkeeper keeping the clean sheet, it's that defence. So obviously you want your keeper to make saves, and I think Forster has made a few big saves this season. But some of the ones that you've seen prior to the injury, even last season after the injury, that he saved then, he's not saving at the minute. So as he said there, poor by his standards. Obviously the standard's high, he's just dipped below that high standard possibly.
I think it all leads back to the start of the season when they had that all-night binge. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he was like that.
Yeah.
Like that. His form's been down the pan ever since. Just keep him away from the lager.
After the West Ham victory, wasn't it?
Keep him away from the lager. Sorted.
All right, boys, let's wrap things up then.
What was the name of the person?
Jake.
I'd like to see him try. So I having all these comments about Fraser Forster and what he can and can't do, but let's see you try. See if you can do it.
You have to pay him 60,000 a week as well if you want him to do that.
It'd be worth watching, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, lads, wrap things up then. Rating out of 10 Forster season.
4.
1.
Yeah. Dan.
Goalkeeper.
6.
Yeah, I'll probably go as far as a 6 as well. I mean, middle of the road, lots of errors, but a long way back.
The clean sheets take him up there.
Yeah, it's a seesaw season for Forster.
When he was on those runs last season with the clean sheets, winning us points, and he's done a few of them this season. He's won us a few points this season. So for all the criticism he gets, he's done a bit for us still.
Excellent. Well, that's it from us then for Fraser Forster's review. Leave us your comments in below. What do you make of the wall to the wardrobe? Leave us your thoughts in below. Leave your comments and subscribe for more.